1 week from Saturday is a very important anniversary. Griffin, I'm sure you know it is indeed the 30th anniversary of my 12th birthday.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
happy birthday.
It's cool that the Orioles are going all out to celebrate it. Like, I do appreciate that from them. I hear there was also some baseball thing that happened.
Is that what you're going to say now? Every
I've done it.
Birthday in your 40s?
Cal and I have had this conversation every year, or every 5 years, the last few years. Of course, the Orioles are celebrating the 30th anniversary of 21-31. The great, the legend, the Iron Man, Cal Ripken Jr. is with us this morning here on GCR. Cal, it's Glenn. It's always great to catch up with you, sir. Thank you for taking the time for us, as always.
Yeah, Glenn, good morning. It's interesting when you talk about the anniversary. My daughter says, we have a 30th anniversary coming up, and she refers to her first day of school. That's her anniversary.
Wait.
And September 6th, I don't know if you remember, September 6th also was the year after 1995, was when Eddie Murray hit his 500
Exactly
home run.
right.
So
Cal, I thought, as a young man, I was 12 and 13 years old on those birthdays. I thought that somehow, like, I was destined to be a Baltimore Oriole because you all were making history on my birthday. I thought there was some cosmic connection between what you were doing and the fact that September 6th was my birthday. But as it turns out, I had to settle for this. That was the way that it worked. By the way,
I've never been too much. I always didn't really love the attention from an anniversary or even I never went to my reunions. I think always that I thought, it's not productive looking back. It's more fun looking at now and looking forward. But I got to tell you, for some reason, and maybe it's because I turned 65, I'm enjoying this kind of look back 30 years into it, kind of remembering, rumor has it that Rafi and Bo might be at the stadium on September 6th. And just thinking about that and reviewing the conversation about the lap and them pushing me down the line, it gives me a little bit more thrill, at this stage of my life, and so I'm looking forward to a lot of the aspects on September 6th.
We felt in that moment like some reluctance from you when they were trying to push you out to do the lap, and that you, knowing everything about you, you just sort of wanted to play. Let's just play the baseball game. Like, what are we doing, man?
I said no. I told Rafi it was a dumb idea. I might have used the word stupid at first. I said I'm not doing that. And Bobby Bo got involved. And when you think about Bobby Bo has sort of an intimidating presence. He's big and strong and all that kind of stuff. But he had this voice, this baritone voice that I kind of looked at him like that. And when I went out for one of the curtain calls, and then they came out and pushed me down there, I felt I had no choice at that point. And it's turned out to be probably the best personal moment or human moment on the field, because it really took the celebration to a more personal level, one-on-one, and I really enjoyed that.
That's the part that I wanted to know, is if you ultimately were thankful that they did push you out to do it, because I think the connection and, like, the folks in the outfield that were lowering down to try to high-five you, like, that part of it, and the connect you and I have talked about a lot over the years, how insanely special your story is, that you are one of us and you did it here. It just felt like that was what came out in that moment as you took the lap.
Yeah, I mean, I was hesitant. I mean, you read me right in the beginning. I kept thinking, I'm trying to communicate to everyone that said, okay, it's the middle of the game. It's not fair to the pitcher that takes a long time. It's like a rain delay in some ways. Let's play the game, and I'll stay out here to as long as you want, after the game's over. But let's get the game started. Let's do it again. I got to tell you, probably a quarter of the way down the line when I started shaking hands, I could care less whether the game ever started. Yeah.
It was official. They couldn't take it away from you at that point. It
was really weird. Did you ever think of a game, in the middle of a game, becoming official in the fifth inning?
No, I'd never considered it until that moment.
Only in rain delays. So when they started dropping the banner off the warehouse or whatever else, and they did it in the fifth inning, the first time it happened with John Tesh's music, I was like confused. I think we all were kind of confused, like, what's happening? Why is this happening now? And it really started to get us to really look forward to the fifth inning, at the change of the number. And it really it really had a nice effect once it got to 2130 and 2131.
Cal Ripken is with us here on GCR. Next Saturday, the Orioles are celebrating the 30th anniversary of 2131. All sorts of festivities, including a pregame ceremony. And we were showing the video a second ago. The red Corvette. Is it the exact same red Corvette, Cal, or just a red Corvette that you're going to be riding around in?
No, I heard that it is the exact same one.
Wow.
Same guy owns it, and that was an interesting little lap.
That's really cool.
Around the field. I never owned a Corvette, but I always wanted to.
Wait a second. I think they gave you like a Chevy Tahoe, right? They couldn't have given you the Corvette.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could have, but I think the practical side of me said the Tahoe is probably better.
Yeah, right. More likely that you're actually going to be driving that one to the ballpark. Yeah. That makes a little bit more sense. Cal, we've talked about a lot of the stories surrounding the game over the years, and I know in particular the Jim Gott story has always been special. Were there anybody else that maybe you heard from or that you connected with? I mean, obviously the President of the United States was there, which was a big deal, but anyone that you had connected with that, like, it really hit you how much this resonated with the average person, that hearing from this person or seeing the way that it meant something to them really struck you in that moment?
Let me think about that part of it as you asked the question, but can I go back to Jim Gott for a minute?
Of course, absolutely.
So did you happen to see our gala this year? You know, the Cal Ripken Jr. gala.
I knew that you, yeah, uh-huh.
Did you see what happened with Jim Gott?
No.
Okay, so when Jim Gott gave me the ball, you know, which represented May 30th, 1982.
Game one.
Which was the first game of the streak, because I guess I missed the game before that. I don't know. And so he won. He beat us that day, and it was his first major league win. So I don't know who found out about it or whether he came up with the idea, but he was there to present it in the celebration of 2131.
Yep.
That it was the first ball. And I told him, you know, I thought the gesture, I said, dude, that's your first win. He goes, keep it. Don't give it to me. You know, I mean, I have plenty of stuff. And he insisted on it. He said, no, he's representing all of baseball, and this is how we feel. And I reluctantly took it. And so I've held it for 30 years, trying to figure out how do I give it back to him. And so at our gala this year, you know, we had a little bit of a celebration for the 30th anniversary coming up. We had all the Oriole Hall of Famers there, which was a fantastic time. And I invited Jim Gott back, you know, almost on the pretext of remembering the thing. So when I got up there, I put him in a position where I presented him the ball back in front of all the people. And I said, you can't give it back, you know. And so he came up. And he was moved by it, and we were all kind of moved. I was half crying myself, trying to hold it back. And I said, "Do you want to say a couple things to everyone and whatever else?" He goes, "I do, but I can't."
Wow.
And,
wow.
So it turned out to be the perfect way to give it back to him. I said, "I'm returning it for all of us who love baseball. I'm returning it to the rightful owner. It goes back to you and your family."
Oh my gosh.
So I gave him the ball back. So it's cool.
I'm getting emotional thinking about it, Cat. Like, just talking to him about that, and how, like, somebody asked him if he was if he'd be willing to share a cab on the way to the ballpark, and I remember he said to me, "Glenn, I would have walked. I would have walked to have been part of it because that's how much it meant to me. I felt like I was going to welcome the baby Jesus in that moment, and just like what it clearly meant to all baseball players, and maybe
so that's the memory that, you know, when you really think about it. It's not the physical thing that happened, or not necessarily the ballpark, although it happened in it. It's the people, it's the stories, it's the way that it happened, which I guess I'm getting more tickled about it 30 years later, because maybe I'm in a position where you look back and you kind of review your life a little bit more than I did before. I think I was just thinking, you got a lot of life to live. Let's look forward. And I'm not saying I'm at the end. But when you reach 65, you start looking at things like, who do you want to spend time with? How do you want to spend your time? That you might have more of a limited time. But so this 30th anniversary, those stories like that are really it's making me smile and making me feel good.
Remind me, you did make your daughter go to school that day, despite everything that was going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I took her to school. Yeah, even though and I was getting very little sleep at that time. it seemed like the days got longer, the obligations after the game.
Yeah.
21:30 was John Miller out in the field, which I think John's coming back too.
Yeah.
Which I think is really good. And so we had a good time there. And at that point, I remember realizing that, all of a sudden they put a finish line on me, and I never played, with a finish line. I've just played because that's how I approach the game. And I felt pressure for the first time to kind of get to the finish line, like during that year. But after 21:30, it was a foregone conclusion that 21:31 was going to happen. So that relaxed. I didn't go to sleep. I was still up. My daughter had to get up really early for school, so I got up and drove her to school, dropped her off. And that was our sort of little thing.
That's cool.
Is that was on the day of the streak, and so she has a 30-year anniversary coming up of her first
awesome.
day in school.
That's awesome. I realize as well as I know Ryan, I've never asked him this either. Did you, like, when they were thinking about, like, I might not be able to go to school today, I've got like a little bit of a cough, did you ever like look at them and say, really? You want to take a day off? Really?
Well, the irony is I never had perfect attendance in school, and I think my parents at times, when things got stressful or you were behind or you didn't finish a project you were supposed to, I remember I was allowed to stay home and catch up, so I missed things, and a lot of people tell me that they use it with their kids that it's important to go to school every single day, and it is. But I didn't, and I think as a parent, I was a little more, I was a little more lenient to say that if things are going right, maybe it's you got to take a little extra time and get it right. So it's not a good comparison. I played a game for a living. I got to go out and be a kid till I was 41. School sometimes the situations required you to maybe to take a day off just to get things right.
I guess. There's going to be lots of exclusive merchandise available, as Cal's already brought up. Hall of Famers, Harold Baines, Eddie Murray, Mike Messina, Jim Palmer will be a part of it. Brady Anderson, Al Bumbry, B.J. Surhoff, Ben McDonald, who famously would not go on a rehab assignment and said the team could release him before he would go on a rehab assignment and miss 21:31. Rafael Palmeiro, Larry Sheets, John Miller, the commissioner, Rob Manfred will all be a part of it. Cal, I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, now in your role as an owner, do you get the sense that the group is hell-bent? Like, we know the season hasn't gone the way that anybody wanted it to go. Do you get the sense they're hell-bent that, like, we're going to fix this? It's not going to be like this again next year?
Oh, absolutely. There's every reason to be really optimistic, about the young guys that are coming up, the talent that was in the system. Yeah, the season didn't go well, and I think injuries played a lot of that, and we had to make some decisions, and we turned out to be there was an opportunity to improve your club for the future and maybe even for the present. Opens up spots for other people to play. So you can look out on the field right now, and you can see huge potential. And Mike Elias has loaded our system with talent for a while now, which has put us in a position to be successful in the big leagues. So I think it's going to be fun to watch who we got back from the proven talent that we sent away at the deadline. But there's every reason to believe that. And you saw Bradish pitch last night.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Coming back, I mean, you really see the life in his fastball and his sharp breaking ball, and having him back. Hopefully, keep your fingers crossed that Grayson Rodriguez will be in that role again, and all of a sudden you can immediately see that with the nucleus of our guys that we're going to be a competitive playoff team, and that's going to be the expectations, next year. It might be a little bit more of a developmental second half or this last 6 weeks where you're finding out what players can do. But they're talented big league potential guys, and I for one am excited about that.
Cal Ripken, we can't wait. The Orioles did ask me to remind everybody next weekend is also the Maryland Cycling Classic, so there's a lot going on in the city. Please make your plans now to get to the ballpark early. Be prepared for traffic. It's going to be a hectic day. but you're going to want to be there very early for all the pregame festivities, so make your plans now to get to the ballpark early next Saturday. Cal Ripken, it's always a pleasure, sir. Thank you for taking the time for us this morning. Yeah,
you're quite welcome. Is there any chance that we can cancel that cycling event?
No, it's good for the community. It's good for the community. We want to support everything that's good for our area. It's not ideal, obviously. We would have liked to have planned it a different way. But no. We want to support everything that helps our community.
I was just kidding, by the way.
I know. Hey, were you ever a biker? I know Ray Lewis was a big biker. Were you ever a biker, Cal?
I went through a phase of it's a little bit less stressful. I stopped playing basketball. I started riding a bike.
Yeah.
And then a road bike, and then a mountain bike, and then I went over the handlebars a couple of times and had to have surgery.
That'll end it. Yep. Yeah, I do vaguely. I remember that. I do remember that. I'm sorry. I remember that well now. Yeah.
So a lot less biking now. A little more swimming.
Yep, of course. And no basketball at all. You've completely gotten rid of basketball.
Yeah, no basketball. That's too taxing on the old body.
Well, certainly the way that you played. There's no doubt about that. All right, Cal. Thank you, man. Always appreciate it. Appreciate you doing this.
My pleasure. Thank you.